So we know that people have had changes when they've received coherence healings, and we'll make sure that someone from the staff introduces you to one of our advanced healing groups so that you could participate in that. The last book I wrote because it took enough time to really break it down for people to realize that you are not your physical body locked in this environment in this present time. You are in a whole nother time. And you don't move through space in this realm to experience time. You have eternal time. And if you had eternal time, infinite amount of time, how many things could you get done? There's infinite possibilities. The past, present, and future are existing simultaneously. And as you travel through time, you experience dimensions or spaces. And the only way you do that is changing the frequency of your thoughts. And as you change the frequency of your thoughts, the faster the frequency, of course, the greater the experience that brings you closer to bliss or source. And that's when you don't want the moment to end. So it's a practice. It's an ongoing practice.
Thank you so much for your question, Alejandro. We're now going to ask a question of one of our Spanish members, and to facilitate that, I'm going to invite Vero, our Spanish coordinator, onto the call to ask the question of Dr. Joe. Vero, welcome to the call today.
Hello, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Hello, everyone. We have a question and it goes like this. Hello, my name is Santiago. I am from Argentina and I am 21 years old. I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 12 years old, and since then I have been trying different alternatives to treat it. The doctors recommended surgery a few years later because the scoliosis got worse, but I didn't have the surgery. Because of the scoliosis, I have a displaced right shoulder blade and a little bit of a saggy chest. A short time ago, I had decided to have surgery, and then I started watching your videos, and because of that, I decided to postpone the decision to see what would happen. In the meantime, I was practicing blackness meditation and started to change my thoughts and actions following your advice. I made changes in my life and saw that some changes began to occur around me, and perhaps some physical change. In addition, I am currently doing exercises with a yoga teacher. I can live a normal life. I don't have any pain. I just take care not to make great efforts so as not to damage my spine. I would like to ask you for some advice and to recommend which of your meditations can help me the most. I have been seeing that in some of your videos, you tell me that you began to mentally reconstruct your spine after your accident. And I would like to ask you if you can tell me more details about it. What did you do to be able to implement it? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vero. Okay, Santi, thank you for your question and thank you for doing this work. Let me just say that there have been people that have done this work that have gotten healings from a group of our advanced students. And I've seen the x-rays that had a diminishing of secondary curves or scoliosis in their spine, young people like you. And that principle is that the pattern that exists for the scoliosis, there is a pattern that exists in the field. And so when these people did the healing on the people that had scoliosis, they were creating a change in the field. And when they changed the pattern in the field and created more coherence, the interference of those coherent patterns, like a kaleidoscope organizing energy, began to change the expression in three-dimensional reality, in physical reality. So we know that people have had changes when they've received coherence healings, and we'll make sure that someone from the staff introduces you to one of our advanced healing groups so that you can participate in that. And then there are people who have come to week-long events, to advanced retreats, and they lay down after they do their meditation and they feel all these different articulations in their spine releasing. And when that happens, many times, whether it's a physical pain, whether it's a restriction, whether it's a handicap, whether it's a limitation, whether it's a deformity, there tends to be a change in the body. Energy is somehow beginning to change the physical body. Santi, I have no idea what your scoliosis, how severe it is, or what they call the Cobb angle is, to tell us what kind of scoliosis or the angles that you have. But I will tell you, if you're 21 years old and you have no pain, and you have maybe one shoulder more forward than the other, but there's no physical pain involved, and you want to experiment, I don't see any reason why that would be potentially harmful or damaging to you. If you're doing yoga and you're breaking down rigidity in your tissues and you're doing the proper type of yoga, that's a great way to create more physical balance in your body. Now, I can't tell you what meditation is the best meditation for you, but if this is your goal, something that you wanted to see if you could change, just to see if it's possible, I would do the blessing of the energy centers, because we would want to make sure that that temple, your physical body, was in more metabolic balance. I would start practicing some of the walking meditations, because the walking meditations are a great way for you to begin to embody the energy or recondition your body emotionally and energetically to a new future. Change your body by changing your energy or changing your emotions. And the walking meditations are a great way to do that. You're taking on a new expression. And many people, when they finish their walking meditations and they lay down, some of them you lay down at the end, report that they have immediate changes in their physical body. And I have witnessed that on a personal level. Now, when I had my own injury, I was a little older than you, Santi. And in the 1980s, it wasn't very common to resist or forego a surgery when you had 4 opinions from 4 surgeons. So I wasn't very much liked by the hospital administration, because I wasn't just going to quickly just sign my life over. And I was doing what I thought would be the right thing to do in my own process of discovery. The reconstruction of every single one of those vertebrae that were broken was for me to show that autonomic nervous system, that intelligence that's giving me life, what I wanted. And I wanted to be present with it, and I wanted to show it what I wanted. And my mind wandered to anything else. If I started thinking about living in a wheelchair, or if I should sell my practice or whatever, I was focusing on the wrong outcome, and I would get frustrated and then stop and start all over. And the starting all over was because I wanted to go from start to finish and show it exactly what I wanted without losing my focus. And that was the part that was my challenge. Now, all along in the process, I was firing and wiring new circuits in my brain. I was getting better at staying present and paying attention. And all of those elements brought me closer to the present moment, where the unknown exists, where the possibilities exist. And so in time, as I was doing this, I started noticing after 6 or 7 weeks or so that I started feeling physically better. Like my pain levels went down. I started having more sensory function. There were things taking place that I knew my body was in a state of recovery. The choice to do it the way I did it with reconstructing the vertebrae is just one choice of many. You could do it any way you like. You could create a picture for yourself, or you could create a symbol if you wanted, or you can reconstruct those vertebrae if you wanted, or there's a host of different ways of doing it. There's no right or wrong way. It's just presence, it's intention, it's consistency. And in time, when you start really making those changes and your body starts responding, then you know what you're doing inside of you is starting to produce an effect outside of you. And that's what we want everybody to experience. That effect that they're experiencing is a change in something physical or material. And that's the important part. That's where we want people to arrive at. So I would look at the walking meditations. I would look at blessing of the energy centers. I would continue doing your yoga. And if you have very little pain or no pain and you function normally and your scoliosis is severe and stopping you from living your life in any way, I would experiment a little bit more. We'll make sure that Belinda or Adam hook you up with one of the coherence healing groups. Be open to that experience. but it's an ongoing process. The important part for me, it is one of the most highest values, is people come to this work for so many different reasons. To heal their body, to change their body, to create a new life, a new job, a new career, having a mystical experience, heal from their childhood, whatever it is. And that's the incentive for people to connect. That's the incentive for them to go further than where they normally go. That's the incentive for them to overcome themselves, and to overcome their lives in some way. It's the incentive to take knowledge and information and starting to embody it through experience, repeated experience, that becomes the value. And as they start doing this more and more, and they start feeling more wholeness, as I said with the first question with Olga, when you start feeling that kind of wholeness, when you start feeling that kind of worth, when you start feeling happy with yourself and satisfied with who you are, and you're no longer wanting to be anybody else but you, this is when you start seeing those dramatic miracles. Whatever the impetus of motivation is for any individual, what we're really striving for, all of us, is oneness, for that kind of connection. Whatever the inspiration it is for any person to come to this work, I just want them to learn the formula, and learn that formula so well that the thing that they want to change is occupying their mind so much that it's not about the healing, it's not about the new job, it's about learning the formula to heal, learning the formula to create the new job. And it's learning that formula then that you can begin to use in every other area of your life. So the question is it worth the effort? And anybody who's finally had their breakthrough, they'll tell you it was. And so if that's your motivation and you want to create more wholeness in your spine, more balance in your spine, and you want to make that something that you want to put all of your energy in, by all means do it, but learn the formula on what it means to truly change and to truly heal.